The story of Avalon began with a dream, an ambitious dream from a highly advanced civilization who were so proud of their creations and achievements that they believed they could do whatever they pleased. One invention that boasted their arrogance was a device that could create anything out of one's dreams. But that very invention brought forth their downfall. A nightmare was dreamt from this device, consuming anything it found within sight and corrupting it beyond recognition. A dark hunger resided within this monstrosity, and thus the abomination known as the Nightmare was born. The Nightmare was soon cast out of Avalon, and a protective barrier was created to prevent the Nightmare from ever returning. Although, while Avalon remained safe, other worlds were less fortunate. In a world called Spawnington, where immigrants from different worlds faced typical shenanigans and struggled for survival. However, their lives took a drastic turn when the Nightmare arrived in Spawnington. It unleashed its affected monsters upon the residents, posing a grave danger to their existence. Thankfully, a trio of courageous heroes known as the Star Callers, hailing from a distant land, came to their rescue, ensuring the safe evacuation of the remaining adventurers from the doomed world. Following the fall of Spawnington, the displaced people sought refuge in the world of Avalon. They settled in a town called Excalibur, where they encountered Valera, a resident of Excalibur, and her guardian, Genesis. In due time, the adventurers crossed paths with Maria, a time traveler from the past who found fascination in the new world. Through Maria's revelations, they discovered that the Nightmare was a multiversal threat created by Maria's own people, the Pentenson civilization. Although the Pentensons had managed to repel the Nightmare and banish it from Avalon, the Nightmare spent the next 500 years seeking out other worlds to consume, becoming an interdimensional menace. With the Nightmare's power growing stronger, it once again set its sights on Avalon. The residents of Excalibur also shared a tale from 12 years prior, when the Star Callers attempted to confront the Nightmare using the Pentenson-created sky fortress, Atmos. Unfortunately, their endeavor resulted in catastrophic consequences, weakening the barrier that protected Avalon. The barrier's inevitable failure loomed closer with each passing day. An incident occurred that spurred the adventurers into action. Valera felt compelled to return to her homeland. Maria and Genesis, witnessing Valera's sadness, grew discontent with the people of Excalibur. Overwhelmed by anger, Genesis nearly destroyed the entire town, fueled by her intense hatred for the Pentensons, who had almost wiped out the Redalian people, who were once Valera's people in the distant past. The adventurers, along with Ayana, one of the Star Callers, intervened and stopped Genesis's rampage. After calming the Guardian down, she and the newly formed group agreed to assist Valera in her journey back to Faria. Upon their arrival in Faria, they discovered that the forest had been corrupted by the Nightmare, forcing them to tread carefully. They needed to reach the shrine beneath the Tree of Seasons, guarded by the Spirit of Seasons. During their journey, the adventurers learned of the atrocities committed by the Pentensons against the Redalians. Out of fear of the Redalians' secret magic, the Pentensons had attempted to eradicate their entire population, causing them to vanish, except for Valera. This was the reason behind Genesis' deep-seated hatred for the Pentasins and her unwavering dedication to protecting Falera from any harm, physical or emotional. The adventurers faced a trial by the Spirit of Seasons to prove their worthiness of passing through. And they emerged victorious. They believed their paths would diverge at this point, but Falera discovered that the passage to the shrine was completely blocked. Someone did not want her to reach her destination. With this new threat in mind, the group returned to Excalibur to devise a new plan. Falera and Genesis concluded that they needed the assistance of the elemental sprites, powerful creatures and guardians of the elements to reach the shrine. Redirecting their course to the sunken forest of Elra, the group arrived at its entrance, only to find that the barrier concealing and protecting the sacred ground had been breached. Someone else was also searching for the sprites, but their intentions diverged from the adventurers. Nightmare monsters had infested the area, corrupting and controlling the sprites themselves. While fighting to free the sprites from their influence, the adventurers scoured the surroundings for the source of this evil. The source, however, found them first. The man responsible for the corruption was Solren, a Radalian warrior who addressed Falera as a goddess, but accused her as an immature child. He harbored a burning anger for what Falera had done to him and his people. Solren summoned a lesser demon from the upper abyss to eliminate the group. The sprites were liberated from their control and stood against Solren, who fled after his defeat. Realizing that staying in Elra yielded no further gains, the group returned to Excalibur to recover and determine their next move. Genesis remained behind to safeguard the sprites and protect Elra. When they returned to Excalibur, Falera revealed to them that the entire population of Radalia was still alive, existing within a world created by her dreams. Unaware of living in a dream, her people remained blissfully ignorant, and Falera couldn't bear to shatter their reality, fearing more nightmares like Solren would escape. As the adventurers prepared for their journey to Linvia, they gathered in Excalibur to formulate a plan. Unfortunately, their plans were abruptly disrupted as the sky darkened and a menacing violet crack appeared. Stars began to fall from the sky, and nightmare monsters emerged from the dark violet smoke trails, attempting to breach the barrier. The prelude to Starfall had begun. Genesis took Valera's place and sacrificed her life to buy everyone a little more time. The nightmare was held at bay, but only temporarily. During this respite, the adventurers collected fallen stars and crafted formidable weapons. Maria endeavored to find a permanent solution to seal the barrier, while Valera mourned and conversed with the sprites. The barrier's eventual failure loomed ever closer. Ultimately, the patch created by Genesis failed, and the nightmare burst through with relentless force, threatening to engulf all of Avalon. Many adventurers succumbed to its influence, while others fought desperately to continue the battle. Even the Starcallers joined the fight to the best of their abilities, but it appeared to be too late. However, Valera discovered a way. Harnessing the power bestowed upon her by Starlight, Valera used her magic to transport the adventurers, Excalibur, and the entire barrier into a new world hosted within her consciousness. Through her magic, the barrier was permanently sealed, preventing the nightmare from breaching Avalon. The adventurers were safe, and Excalibur remained intact. Valera explained the aftermath to them, and they agreed to prepare for their final destination, the holy city of Linvia. Alongside Valera, the Starcallers, and Maria, Valera also disclosed the existence of a legendary blade called Holly Song, believed to possess the power to banish the abyss. They then embarked on their journey with renewed determination to return Valera to the shrine. The time came when Valera released the adventurers to aid her in scouring Linvia for Solrin and clearing a path to the shrine. The city itself lay underground beneath the Tree of Seasons in Faria, intricately woven throughout a massive cavern. The sprites also joined the cause, assisting in the fight against 4 different shades representing a family: the shade of the father, mother, son, and daughter. Finally, above the burning forest and over the Tree of Seasons, they confronted Solrin. Valera implored Solrin to turn away from his destructive path, but he remained steadfast in his convictions, determined to free his people from the dream world. Calling upon the power of the nightmare, Soren attempted to kill Valera and release his people. However, the adventurers intervened, grappling with the formidable foe amidst the trees and platforms. Maria then produced a strange device and used it to extract the nightmare from Soren, sealing it within the device. Soren collapsed to the ground, finally silenced. The fight was over. Valera realized it was time to return to the shrine and enter the realm of dreams to protect her people. She also intended to search for the legendary blade Holysong, believing it could aid the adventurers against the nightmare. Valera entered her dreams once more, and thereafter Maria revealed the truth. Holysong, as a blade, did not exist. It was a legend of an alliance forged between two ancient warring clans. Upon recognizing this truth, it became clear that Valera would never find Holysong, no matter how hard she looked. As long as Valera remained asleep, the barrier would remain indefinitely, safeguarding Avalon from the nightmare.
Did we think we fathomed what the mind could feel in a world so infinite? So we rejected magic and the unexplained in favor of our own arrogance and pride, leaving all behind. Yet from afar I watched as the dreamers woke in a world of chilled moonlight. Thus was the nightmare shattered, and by pleas and prayers came the sun in a world of night. as the night becomes day.